players, operators, speed boys, speed girls, superstar DJs. How's it going? We're back with another video, and this time I thought I would give you a poor man's Bradley Phillips impression, if only just to prove that I have a face. But after this we can just pretend like it never happened and go back to the anonymity is best for everyone approach. So today I thought we would cover the King Arms TWS 9mm. This is the carbine version, and there is a shorter SBR version. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, but we can look it up or whatever. I just thought I would give my first impressions of the blaster, seeing as how I wouldn't get anything done if I thought I could do it perfectly. So this is probably just going to be first impressions, as I haven't actually played with it yet, but we're getting there soon, I think. Maybe out to the new black sight, RPM's black sight gel ball, or maybe even the next Asylum game, but I guess we will see about that. So I haven't done much with the blaster since getting it earlier in the year from Watt International. So it's mostly been shooting in the backyard and just trying to get a feel for it, and also getting extra mags for gameplay. And let's have a talk about it. I'm not going to blow anyone's minds with my take on it, because again, I'm an enthusiast, I'm not an expert, I'm not a tech, not even much of a player, but I'm here to give people an impression of a blaster they might be interested in, because that's kind of the thing that I would be interested in, even though I'm blessed to live in Brisbane with the mecca of gel ball in Australia, because Queensland and South Australia are the last bastions of gel ball. So yeah, thought I'd give you my impressions. So what should we do? I think let's try and be original and go from bottom to top, to get away from all those tip to butt bad jokes, which I would probably be inclined to do anyway, but let's keep rolling. Mag is a Armourer Works extended Glock mag. These come with TWS, at least from the retailers that I've looked at. You can tell by the red exhaust valve. You know what it is. Holds about just a shade under 30, depends on how good you're getting at stacking it, but I will confirm that. Next, pistol grip. Now, the thing I've realized, or well, probably everyone knows about GBBR pistol grips, is it's just a cavity with a hex head bolt in there holding that on, which at least makes the replacing of it or changing it to something different you might be interested in is relatively easy, though I'm happy with that. Some people might not like the added finger grooves, they might like something a bit smoother, but I don't mind that at all. Next, let's go the trigger. This is my first GBBR, but I have GBBs, pistols, GBBPs. We don't call them GBBPs, I wonder why. Pistols. So I am very happy with it. I haven't shot real steel really, but I think from what I can tell, with my very limited knowledge, what I would be able to tell you is that it's a nice feeling action, but very heavy. But here, we'll just go give you a squeeze. Oh, let's cock it first. Squeeze. Very little take up and just breaks straight away. And reset. There. And Again, squeeze, brake, reset. Great. I haven't got one of those nifty trigger weight stick things, but let's just say I wouldn't be happy about having to finger bang this all day, as if it was like a F2 HPA Speedy Boy gun. But yeah, it's nice, very nice. It does make me look more judgingly on my AEGs. The triggers on those. So yeah, so that's a bonus straight away. Next, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the buttstock. Very interesting buttstock. You've got QD attachment points on the end, though I'm not sure what that hole is. I'm pretty sure that's it. A sling mount there, even though I'm not sure who's slinging through that. And it is nylon, so I don't know how long that would last for. Now let's talk about this adjustment lever. So, and you've probably seen this on other reviews of TWS if you've been here for that, if you've been online looking for that. So you have the stock adjustment lever, which has got, let's see, that's the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5. So we've got 5-point adjustment, but we also have this retention lever. And it's just meant to, I think, hold the buttstock in place if you accidentally hit the adjustment lever, but you press the adjustment lever and the retention lever comes off anyway. And if that's the case, well then, if you accidentally bump that, you can just as easily bump that. I don't know. It seems a bit over-engineered to me, or I'm just a moron, which is always a possibility. I'm sure I'll get told about it straight away. But yeah. I run it at full length, being a taller guy, being a taller giraffe that I am. But I can see some advantage in having it in tight like this, particularly for CQB. I think the SBR with the fully closed in buttstock will be super short, but some people are into that, and I won't judge them. What else? Let's go to the front. M-lock handguard at 3, 6 and 9 o'clock. Look at this weird top rail which has some dabbling in Picatinny, which I have this faux red dot no brand China Special on top. So some Picatinny there, this kind of dead space here, and iron sights, backup irons. Can we see that? Peep adjustment, you got 2 settings there. Front post, if we can get that into focus. No, but let's keep rolling. Yeah, it's alright as far as handguards go. I'm not a handguard purist. I'll just take whatever I've got. 3D printed Kung Fu grip mount. I'm still trying things out on this, but just to maintain the black aesthetic. Yeah, that's nice. Go for the old sort of C grip plus friends. And I've added my Bifrost tracer unit. On the outer barrel there is the standard 14 counterclockwise thread, and the Bifrost just screws right on. Let's get it off. There's the inner barrel. probably get about 20 millimeters of barrel sticking out, inner barrel sticking out. No, and it's counterclockwise because I'm a clown clockwise. The TWS does come with a very hefty muzzle device, all metal muzzle device, but it's clearly the leftover from airsoft because it is very narrow. But what is currently selling a very slimline hop-up. I'm not sure if it's any different than a Sweetheart hop-up, but apparently it is small enough to fit on the inner barrel, but also fit inside the stock muzzle device. So that'll be interesting. But I like the Bifrost. It just, when you put it on your orange setting, looks like you get a real muzzle flash. Haven't tried it out, could be completely lame, but that's what I'm here for, finding the lame in everything. What else? Controls. Very clicky, very responsive. You can find your spots fairly easily. It won't go into safe unless it's cocked. So semi and full auto. Maybe I'll get some B-roll with some full auto going, but it is quick yet satisfying, like me in intimate situations. Let's get to the best part, the ASMR version of the bolt release. There it is. Very satisfying impulse from the bolt release. Amazing, I could do that all day. Working forward assist, which, let's just talk about it. It can come in useful. I have been finding that I get some chop gels. Now, it could be because I'm using old gel savage. So if I feel like just having a bit of a plink, I might grab some old ultra hards and I might get some chops. But what I've been finding is that chop gels will get caught inside the sort of notch of the nozzle, so it won't actually seal and fire. So the forward assist does work on that, but it shouldn't be an issue for you non-savages who use fresh gels and respect the GBBR life. But yes, that's something to note. That will probably come up again in my cons list. Let's go, what else have we got? Mag release. So, only right hand mag release, not ambi. It's a very long lever. Now, something I found, having long spider fingers, is that sometimes I will catch on the dust cover. Now, particularly in using gloves, so I'm a bit more used to it, but very much in the early days there was a lot of pressing on that, looking for the mag release and getting the dust cover. Probably, if anything, you would like them to have a bit more of a prominent sort of knobbly for the mag release. It is etched a little bit to give you some feedback, but not feedback, tactile nosity, but not when you're wearing gloves. So it's wearing gloves, a little hard to find. I'm not sure if there are any aftermarket parts for that, but it might just be worth, I don't know, aryl something on there. There's nothing 3D printing won't solve. yeah, so I've added my own trades there with a bit of terrible 3D printing. Because the TWS Gel Blaster in Australia does not come with any trades, weirdly enough. I think the TWS airsoft version's trades are pretty cool, but to just have it blank seems like a bit of a crime. So I just told that, but you can do whatever you want. I'm pretty sure you can get sticker packs for trades. I think that's probably a bit extreme, but you do you. Yeah, let's talk about what else. So how I've set it up. So kept everything stock. Faux red dots, trades, 3D printed hand grip, 3D printed Picatinny rail section just to stick my run cam on. But there's plenty of space still on there for other bits. But yeah, other than that, I think that's worth at least running with. Things to modify. I'm not too sure about this on the mod front because you read up on it and there's a lot of stuff out there for Tokyo Marui stuff, but this apparently has a Western Arms or WA Origins, like that's its base build set. So I'm not sure about compatibility, but I know there's at least a gold bolt, a lightweight bolt that goes in the blaster that just speeds up the action, but you don't quite get the recoil, which, hey, okay, we're talking about recoil, let's just do it. Why not? Wake up the neighborhood. Ooh. You know, it's not going to blow your mind recoil-wise, but it's definitely the most you'll feel out of any gel blaster out there, even though I haven't tried a Tyrannus, but I still expect all that mass blowing back's probably going to, let's just say, put a pin in that, let's come back to that. If I'm a millionaire, we'll try the Tyrannus out. Yeah. So gold bolt upgrade. Obviously there's furniture things you can do, maybe a barrel extension if you're feeling that way inclined, add a hop up. Trigger, I think that, you know, it's not, at least the action on the trigger is great. That you might want a straight trigger, something a bit funkier, but I'm happy with it. I don't know about front hand guards, hand grips, hand guards. This might not be your thing, but I just have known by looking on Reddit, looking on the forums, looking on the Discord, is that sometimes people have a big problem with handguard swaps and taking them off and finding ones that are compatible. So I don't want to roll the dice on that because I'm always poor. But that's what we're in the hobby for, isn't it? Let's go. Final thoughts. Positives. And this would have been covered in the legendary Lou Guido's video, which probably you would have seen before seeing my video. It's probably your easiest way into GBBRs without forking out for mags if you are already on the Glock mag platforms. So yeah, and look, let's get into it. Why TWS over, let's say, Guns Modify or a RPM, help me, Z System, MWS. Yeah, mags, got the Glock mags. They're cheaper, mildly cheaper, but you probably find them much more readily. Everyone uses Glock mags. But also, I think the capacities, it's negligible difference. And since we're not actually talking about calibers, 9mm versus 5.56 or 7.62, I don't know. Yeah, there's a 7.62 GBBRs out there. capacity-wise, it seems negligible. So I think, okay, the only reason why you would probably go those other ones, let's say a Golden Eagle, just to get in, is because you're set up for M4 on your equipment. But because I run some 9mm MP5, don't have to change much. So if I'm not really sacrificing much in the way of capacity, and probably people will correct me, but I think it's negligible, an extra 5 shots. Yeah, I just can see that getting into this platform is easier if you're already set up with Glock mags. Maybe capacity, maybe gas capacity is another thing, but from what I've got with at least the AW mag, we'll talk about mags in a second, 2 to 3 gas fills, so that's, let's call that 90, no, let's call it 80, let's just 80 shots per mag, which the way I play, it's unlikely I'm going to get 80 shots off before getting eliminated, not unless I go full auto and just shoot into a wall, which is also possible. We've talked about mags. Let's talk about compatibility. I may shoot something separately for this, but let's just say AW mags, yes. WeTech mags, which I think are the same thing anyway, yes. Action Armory, AA. Yes, but lockback is occasional. I've had to add some foam inserts just to squeeze the spring a little bit, to put a bit more tension on the bolt lock mechanism, but it will lock back most of the time. Another thing to note, AA mags, slightly shorter than AW, which I couldn't really tell, and you know you've got an AA mag if, well, one, it's shorter, but the fill section of the channel for fitting it is a little bit wider. Yeah. What else? I tried a mag with the AAP01, but I think that's a WeTech mag. What else? Poseidon's. Now, look, I have seen a video where someone, I think one of the Zavari Zoomer guys in South Australia, has used a Poseidon, no, not Poseidon, a Stormbreaker on the TWS. But Vaz over at X-Force Tactical has said that Poseidon mags won't fit. And I thought, maybe they're just kidding. No, they don't actually fit. A little too thick or a little bit too much paint on the mags because they don't go in. So I think there's maybe need a bit of sanding to happen to get those to fit, but I'm not sure what that then does to how your Stormbreaker operates with other pistols. So that's up in the air. I'll report back on that if I decide to get crazy with my Stormbreaker. Yes, what else with mags? WeTech. So yeah, so question marks on Golden Eagle, Double Bell, what else? Oh, ENC, I don't know about that either. But I think with the mags that we have available, that's got you covered. You shouldn't be short on mags. Gels. Let's talk gels. Fresher the better, as we've talked about. Very small brewing. Do we say brewing? Soaking, cooking your gels. It's like 2 hours. People also say 2.5 hours. So it's basically, we're talking 6mm, 6.5 airsoft or BB size. If you go any larger than that, you will get jams in the barrel. I did learn that the hard way. And like I said, you will get, well, I've been getting chops, but that may just be standard, or it could just be me and I'm a savage. So fresher the better, harder the better, as always with all GBBRs. Gels, Yes, gels, gas, on 12 kilo gas, have been getting around sort of 250s, can go like 240, 270, but probably about 270 max. 14 kilo, probably getting close to 300, but there's probably more wiggle room there. I have heard that people have put in spaces or even dimes or 20-cent coins or whatever, just shorten the buffer spring or put a harder buffer spring in. Might get a little bit more speed that way, but I think 240 to 300's good for what this would probably be used for, which would be CQB. I don't think you'd really want to go full outdoor, reach out and touch someone, because just AEGs will beat you, and you're not getting the FPS. So yeah, so I think that's good. And another thing, so happy with this setup at the moment. The only thing I might look at, half on the bolt. I like recoil. Everything else is okay. Hop up, and maybe need charging handle, because I just do find this hard to get a grip on. Just something a bit wider to get my fingers on, because of my big goofy hands. Yes, and maybe something to do with the trigger group. Just with frequent use, they say that you might have to replace the whole trigger unit or hammer unit. Might as well talk about it, how easy it is to take down just to access the bolt. So let's get rid of the mag, not be an idiot. You can just push it with your thumb, push the retention pin, there we go, access the bolt. Go back in, close it up, push it in. Easy. Let's talk maintenance. Yeah, more's the better, I suppose. If you hear people talk. Mags, just because having leaky mags just makes me feel so inadequate and terrible at the hobby. I've lubed the O-rings, gave it a clean out, put them back together, and yeah, that's hopefully should do me a while for a couple of games. But I do note still, again with the chopping, that even with the PTFE lube as opposed to the silicone lube, because everyone says silicone will still pick up stuff, did the PTFE lube and will notice a buildup of just gel residue fragments from getting it chopped up in there. On occasion, I am trying, and it does sort of stop the action a little bit. So as always, stay on top of your maintenance. But I think it's just as much as just opening it up, giving it a brush out, giving it a wipe out, re-lube, check the action, should be good to go. Mag's probably more the weak spot, but what do I know? Again, if something will break inevitably, just look at repairing it when that happens. I have heard people talk about how things will rattle loose and you got to get in there with the Loctite, but maybe not so much for this, though I did have the iron sights fall off. So probably good just to give things a bit of a going over and a rattle check. Since we're talking about it, build, I mean, aside from the rod that's in there, fairly solid build. I feel like I could drop this and have it not explode, but I'll always find a way to wreck things. So yes, final thoughts. Good, well built. Cost, I picked it up on sale from what? $630-ish, $650. Had to pick up some mags on the second-hand market, but still, for what you're getting, I think that's good value until we get a few more GBBRs in and things work themselves out. Good size, good to handle, good controls, except for maybe the one thing being the mag release. Recoil good, trigger good, great. Negatives, like I said, mag release. You might not like the very small mag well, but whether or not we can figure out a solution with a flared mag well. What else? The hop-up situation, which is still, the jury's still out on that one. If you're big into modding it to turning it into something else, maybe that's not the thing. As far as modding, what I would maybe try and turn this into something sci-fi and cool 3D printing wise, because that's what I do, just unnecessarily add plastic to something. Yeah, at least at this point, nothing too bad, nothing too terrible, but maybe that's the thing, it's not mind-blowing either, which is what you're looking for. But if you're going to be spending, what, $1,200 on a GBBR, but still experience the same problems if you're not using great gels, your mags are a bit wonky, it's just not your day, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth a try at least to upgrade. Second-hand market, it'll probably be even cheaper to get, but haven't seen too many of those. So whether or not that means there's not many out there, or people have got them and keeping them, I guess we'll see. But happy to hear people's thoughts. Yeah, hopefully I'll show some shooting for this, and we'll get some gameplay out of it, and me hopefully not dropping any mags or being generally uncoordinated and shambolic out on the field, and I don't break anything. Yeah, we'll see. I think that's it. This has gone way longer than I thought, and like I said, let's never do this again if it's terrible. So let me know what you think. Do have some other things to get into, maybe do a Poseidon Evo thoughts and shootings. Been getting into pyro devices, or faux pyro, working on it. Yeah, so a couple of things in the works, but just to get something out there, just so I don't completely fall off the map and have no interests. We'll just see how it goes. Great, so thanks for watching, guys. See you out there on the field. Have fun. Watch those corners. Go hits. Peace. Do some Luke Guido touching.